Hi there, everyone, and thanks so much for joining us on UpNorthLive Unscripted at 6:30 on this Thursday evening. I am Maya Engel, live in our digital studio, and let's start off right away with our meteorologist Trevor Robideau, live in our normal studio. And Trevor, it seems like things are warming up a little bit tonight. The sun was trying all day to make an appearance, and in some areas, it looks like it finally got through those clouds.
It did. It did finally get to the clouds for some people. So it wasn't cloudy everywhere. Thank goodness, right? But you're right. It is going to get pretty warm tonight. We do have a warm front approaching. That's pushing in that southerly wind. That'll give us some more humidity and warmth tonight. I don't think it'll be too uncomfortable tonight, but it will certainly be a little bit warmer than the past few nights. Pretty widespread 60s and maybe even a couple low 70s. And that is attached in part to our next system as well. We do have some scattered showers and storms on the way. I don't think anything crazy tomorrow, but there is the chance, small chance, for severe weather as well. So I'll talk about that in just a few minutes.
Sounds good, Trevor. We'll check back in with you after our first commercial break, but let's start off right now with one of our top stories of the day, especially in state news, and that is the presidential campaign coming back to Michigan. Today, former President Donald Trump was in Michigan once again, his second time visiting our state just this week. Today, he was at a campaign event in Potterville, that is in Eaton County. He spoke at Alro Steel, a metal services center in Potterville. He talked about inflation, the economy, and energy, and Wisconsin is his next stop. He is scheduled to appear later this evening. Meanwhile, over in Kentwood, Second Gentleman Doug Emhoff was rallying support for his wife, Vice President Kamala Harris, today. This is his first campaign stop following the Democratic National Convention. He focused on how Harris will create an opportunity economy that will benefit small businesses. Also, something I think worth mentioning that is happening today, Vice President Harris and Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, they're due to sit down for the first major television interview of their campaign. So this all brings us to our question of the day. Let me pull that up right now, and that is, with more than 2 months until the election, are you tired of political messaging? 95% say yes. Only 5% say no. If you haven't voted yet, you can scan the QR code on your screen right now. I just had our Facebook page pulled up with this question, and we have so far 55 comments. I'll go through and read some of those comments for you a little later. You can also leave a comment on this live stream if you're watching on Facebook or YouTube. If you are watching on your TV on channel 29 and 8 on ABC, you can always go to your phone, pull up this live stream if you would like to leave a comment, and I will read those a little later on. So from state news / election news to, let's turn things over to more local news. A pretty cool story that our reporter Mark Schlett was working on today. So a retired Leelanau County Sheriff's Marine Patrol officer got to go on a boat ride today. And as Mark said earlier, that might not seem like a very newsworthy story, but this man, Charlie, he worked for 47 years, and the new boat that he got to go out on a spin on will have his name on it for as long as it serves the community and saves lives. So here is Mark Schlett with that full story.
It gets really rough in a hurry.
And few people know that better than Charlie Belanger. You see, Charlie here spent a lot of time out on the big water.
Well, I started working for the Leelanau County Sheriff's Marine Patrol in 1973, so I actually worked 47 years.
Yep, in 2010 when he retired, he had spent darn close to 5 decades out on these waters doing all kinds of things.
I've been out there all hours of the day and night. I've spent all night out there looking for boats and looking for people in the water.
Back in the day when Charlie would be doing all those heroic things, he didn't do it in a vessel like the county's newest edition, dedicated today.
I have worked on a lot of different kinds of boats, yeah. This boat that we just got was specifically made for law enforcement and search and rescue.
For the first time since Charlie's career started, the Sheriff's Office finally has a boat big enough to handle the big job out on the big water.
It's just a super platform to patrol water like this out of Lake Michigan.
The Sheriff's Office covers a huge stretch of Lake Michigan, responding to boaters in distress, search and rescue, and other law enforcement duties. This will help them do all of that without putting lives at risk.
It gives us a way to get out there safely, gives us a way to protect our deputies while they're on patrol, and it also gives us the opportunity to do things we're unable to do with some of the smaller boats.
It took 8 years of applying for a Homeland Security grant before they finally got it just right, with the federal government covering about 80% of the $547,000 price tag.
It's an asset that will be here 30, 40, who knows, I'll be here 50 years from now.
50 years, about the same amount of time that Charlie here served on boats out here. So it only seemed fitting that
We're honored today to dedicate it to Charlie Belanger.
Charlie, surrounded by family and friends, got to christen the boat with a bottle of Mauby champagne and then take his family on a ride around his old patrol in a brand new boat that will remind the next generation of his service to all who have a calling for the water.
I'm really proud to have been a small part of that.
And let's bring in our reporter and anchor, Mark Gillette, into the conversation to talk a little more about this story. Hey, Mark.
How you doing?
Pretty good. And when we were talking about your story earlier, you said there's two different parts to this. There is the new boat, and then there's Charlie. So where do you want to start?
Well, let's start with the new boat. All right.
Okay.
Leelanau County, my numbers are right, had 4 boats in their fleet, and all of them were either donated or given to they were modified regular recreation boats that they kind of did some tweaks to make it work for what they needed to do. Modified to fit the endeavor were the words that Charlie used. And their biggest boat, the boat that they had on Lake Michigan, was significantly smaller and lighter with less engine, less horsepower on it for them in order to go out and handle big waves. It was very difficult in that boat. So this was something that's been on the radar for the sheriff's office for a number of years. They've applied for 8 years for this Homeland Security grant in order to get the money to update their fleet and to add this boat, which is a highly specialized boat. It's perfect for big waves out on Lake Michigan. And you think when they have to go out and actually execute a rescue, chances are there are big waves out there because a boat's gotten in trouble, right? So it's not. This boat allows them to respond almost 3 times as fast to get out there to handle, because the boat is capable of handling big waves and it's got big engines. It's got 600 horsepower on the back of that thing. Big and all, right? The other thing that this boat does is, because it's designed for this, it has cargo area where they can actually take rescue equipment out with them. They can help transport multiple people back. You know, some of these big boats that we see in the marina and that we get a little jealous about, they can have 10 or 12 people on it. Well, their old boat, you couldn't take a crew of rescue divers and rescuers out there and get 10 or 12 people on that small boat to get them all back to shore. This allows them to do that. It is a highly specialized boat. It is designed and equipped for this very kind of work, which the sheriff stressed was so very important that they get it right this time, that they get a boat that's designed to do what they want to do. It's fancy. It's got all the bells and whistles. It has thermal imaging cameras. It has the right lights. It has grab bars and hooks in all the appropriate places. It's air conditioned, which is nice. It's heat, which is nice. When you think about pulling people out of the water, you either got to get them cool or you got to get them warm pretty fast. This allows them to do that. So the boat in and of itself is a welcomed addition to the sheriff's office. And again, Homeland Security covering about a little over $400,000 of the cost of it. So the boat's pretty cool.
So this is a little repetitive, and this maybe will just summarize everything that you just said, but what did the sheriff say the impact of having this boat will have on not just the sheriff's department, but the entire community?
Well, you think about it, it allows, it's a tool. It's a toolbox. It's a tool that's in the sheriff's toolbox now. They are able to respond to emergencies and crisis, and it not only improves the safety of the people that they're going out to rescue, but it also improves the safety of the deputies that are responding. It is much safer for them, whether it's in a search and rescue, whether it's in a recovery, or whether it's in a law enforcement activity. This is also a patrol vehicle. So they use it not just in case of emergency, but when they patrol up and down the Leelanau County shoreline, which they do often, it keeps their deputies safe. So it is very much a boost in their ability to save and protect lives, their own, as well as the people that they're responding to.
So now let's talk about Charlie. He seems like a pretty remarkable guy. What was it like meeting him today?
Okay, if the boat's cool, okay,
Yeah.
super cool. All right. Charlie is an awesome. He was I mean, 7 years as the Marine deputy. That's remarkable. That is just remarkable. But Charlie did this during his summers while he was an educator during the off season when you don't need a patrol officer. So Charlie has given back to the community for at least 5 decades. And Charlie is exactly what you would want in a Marine deputy. Marine deputies oftentimes are out there as heroes, but they're also out there as educators. They're pulling up alongside boats and telling people, hey, put on your life jackets. Hey, this behavior is risky. Hey, let's just check and make sure you got all the safety gear you need. Charlie has the perfect temperament for that. He can you get the feeling that he could go out there and save lives, but he can also go out there and help teach people how to recreate on our waters in a safe way. Charlie, I mean, he has his name on a boat. You have your name on a boat. I don't have my name on a boat. Charlie now has his name on a boat, but you will never meet anyone that downplayed his deservance of having his name on a boat more than Charlie. He's very humble, and he couldn't believe it when the sheriff called and said, "Hey, we're going to dedicate this boat to you." He laughed at it when I asked, "What'd that feel like?" And he just laughed. He
Oh my
couldn't.
God.
Charlie's a cool guy.
Yeah. So, little side note, Mark, can you do me a favor and give me a thumbs up? So, something, can you see that? When you do a thumbs up, a little bubble comes up.
I keep seeing a thumbs up, and I didn't know where that was coming. Apparently, It's not. Oh, it is me.
Yeah,
What?
it's you. I did
I,
not know that was a thing. I don't really know how that's happening, but
all right,
it's pretty
my
cool.
just crushed my ego right now because I was like, oh, somebody out there liked what I was saying. No, it was just me.
It was you.
A thumbs up logo.
Huh.
Good there. So anyway,
Either way.
great day. This has been a long time coming for the Leelanau County Sheriff's Office. They have worked very hard to not only get this boat, but to also do it in a way that minimizes the impact on Leelanau County taxpayers. A total, this boat is going to cost taxpayers, if my math is right, about $130,000. But it could be an asset that they are able to use because this thing is tough. It's aluminum. It's welded. It's a big, tough boat. This thing could be in their fleet for, like the sheriff said, 30, 40, maybe 50 years. They might have to replace engines, but the hull itself, this is an investment that is pennies a day over the service life of it. And it could literally make the difference between life and death for both deputies and people that are out on the open water.
Absolutely. All right, Mark, thanks so much for joining us and for going into a little more detail about your story today. I appreciate it.
Have a great night.
You too. We are going to take a quick commercial break here on Up North Live Unscripted, but we'll come back in just a few minutes and we'll check in with our meteorologist, Trevor Robideau. I'm sure some of you might have some big weekend plans for the holiday weekend, and you're probably wondering what the weather is going to be like. Well, Trevor will let you know right after this break. Welcome back to Up North Live Unscripted at 6:30. Let's check in with Trevor for more on the weather. And Trevor, you mentioned that tomorrow we might see some showers, but it's never too early to look ahead to the weekend, especially a holiday weekend. So how are things looking for our Labor Day weekend?
Oh, they look great. Yeah, minus the rain, as you mentioned, we're gonna end the week tomorrow with some rain and storms, right? So not the greatest, but that's Friday, and we're looking towards the weekend and also our holiday day, right? We want to know what our bridge walks are going to look like. And obviously, the biggest one, the Mackinac Bridge Walk. So we'll take a look at the week ahead overall, but the weekend looks really, really nice. But before we get there, we do have to talk about the rain and storm. So I'll transition over to that. We'll take a look. Transfer over to my USB video here. We're going to start right with the radar. And you can see just over the past 3 hours or so, the clouds have really started to kind of break apart here for many areas around northern Michigan. It's not sunny by any means. There's still partially to mostly cloudy conditions around the region, but they're starting to thin. And that is thanks to the approaching system from the west. And there it is. There's the broad look at it. Low pressure sits just near Winnipeg this evening. And you can see a long line of showers and storms with severe alerts in place over many parts of Minnesota. Near Minneapolis, just passed through there, just edging into Wisconsin this evening. That's headed our way, and it'll be here by tomorrow morning. So we'll take a look at that. Here's Stormcast Future Radar. For the remainder of tonight, clouds will thin over the next few hours before, again, increasing towards the morning, very late tonight. And there's the main line right there as the cold front. There's a very slight warm front just ahead of that, and that's going to usher in some more humidity and warmth, which will bring our temperatures up a little bit tomorrow. But just behind that, the cold front with the main line of showers and storms. This is a pretty fast-moving system, so I don't think many areas will get a whole lot of rain by any means, but there will be some embedded storms within. At the moment, we're looking for those storms to be near Cadillac, Traverse City, down south there towards Big Rapids. You can see the line there. Some stronger embedded storms, it looks like, on this model towards Beaver Island as well. That main line will pass through pretty quickly in the morning, and then early afternoon, we're looking at the possibility for some isolated showers behind that into the eastern upper into the straits as well. You see there over the bridge and parts near the Sioux, looks like some lingering storms and heavier rain possible as well. Then beyond that, into the very middle afternoon towards the evening, the possibility for a couple isolated showers or storms to potentially be on the severe side. And so we'll be taking a look at that. That's going to be the main threat tomorrow. If we look at the severe storm outlook, we do have the level 1 out of 5. That's the marginal, the darker green for some of our eastern and southern central counties tomorrow. Main weather threats with that are going to be maybe some small hail and some heftier winds. But beyond that, we're not expecting too much. Rainfall, we're not expecting a whole lot out of this either. As I mentioned, it's a very fast-moving system. So you'll probably get dumped on for maybe 10, 15 minutes. And then beyond that, we're not expecting much rain. But some areas will get more than others. Chance of precipitation beyond that doesn't look like much. Dry conditions for the next several days beyond very late Saturday into Sunday. So our Labor Day forecast looks absolutely beautiful. 60s and 70s, beautiful sunny day. If you're going to be on the water tomorrow, temperatures 71 to 83, waves 2 to 4 feet. Pretty warm tonight, 60 to 70, a warmer evening with increasing clouds for our system tomorrow, 71 to 83, scattered showers and storms. Beyond that, dry weather, temperatures come down. Labor Day looks great, and we're dry beyond that as well.
All right, thanks so much, Trevor. We have to take another commercial break, but we'll check in with Sports Director Harrison Beebe on the first day of high school football season in just a few minutes. High school football is officially back, and for more on that, let's check in with sports director Harrison Beebe, who is live at a game about to kick off in a couple minutes, right, Harrison?
You would be pretty accurate, Maya. We are a few minutes away from kickoff for the entire season here, and I'm at Rhodes Field, home of the reigning state champion Kingsley Stags. They won the Division VI state finals 9 months ago now. Hard to believe it's been almost a full year, full season, obviously. But it's going to be a busy night all the way around. I'm stopping here in Kingsley, and then I'm heading up to Kalkaska. The Blazers are hosting Manistee tonight. Maya, you're going to be busy. You want to tell us a little about your game?
So I'll be staying here in Traverse City, going to Thirlby Field to cover the Traverse City West versus Gaylord game, since they are no longer in the same conference. So I don't know too much about the team, so maybe I'll let you take over on the details, Harrison.
Well, the big media subplot of that one is James Wagner, the head coach at TC West, used to play and was an assistant coach at Gaylord. This is his second year at West. A year ago, his first game with the program was against Gaylord in Gaylord. Now, Gaylord had a really good team last year, but that was his first game with the Titans, a loss to his alma mater. So there's a lot of buzz around the fact that I'd be curious to see how game 2 goes. Now, Gaylord lost a lot, and TC West probably a pretty good team this year. But either way, there's a lot of intrigue just on paper for that matchup alone. Those are the storylines that people in the media really dive into. You know, it's like watching The Bachelor. You know, he is the Bachelor of Northern Michigan high school football. So
Gets you hooked. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we have reporters all around Northern Michigan covering other games tonight.
Yep, we're gonna have 8 games covered tonight in total, and a big hometown highlights coming up at 11. You and I will be co-hosting that one, and then we'll have a few more games hopefully on the schedules tomorrow to take part in as well.
So the reason why most of the games are tonight instead of their typical Friday night is because of the holiday weekend.
Yes, that is correct. The Thursday before Labor Day weekend is it makes it easy. Sorry, I'm trying to be respectful with the national anthem that always seems to pop up right here, right before kickoff, the 6:30 time slots. But yes, you are correct. With Labor Day coming up, they want to make sure schools have a chance to have an extended weekend before they all begin classes. So that's why a majority of the games are played on Thursdays.
Gotcha. All right, Harrison, well, thanks so much for joining us live from Kingsley. We'll let you get back to the game. I know kickoff is just a few minutes away, so we'll have highlights on that game and all the other games that Harrison was talking about tonight on Hometown Highlights at 11. I don't know why I'm whispering now because you're the one who's there. Yeah. All right, I'm going to let you go, Harrison, but okay, now I feel like I can talk loud again. We're going to take a quick commercial break, but we'll be back in just a few minutes, and we'll take a final look at our results for our question of the day, so stick around. You're watching Up North Live Unscripted at 6:30. Our question of the day today is, with more than 2 months until the election, are you tired of political messaging? 95% of people say yes, 5% say no. I'm looking at our Facebook post right now with this question, and I'll just read some of the comments. So Trudy says yes, and as an additional comment, how about some answers of how either one and Congress are going to fix the problems? Karen said, I'd like to see one debate with open mics and then vote the next day. Campaigning is a huge waste of ridiculous amounts of money, and at this point, no one is going to change their mind about who they are going to vote for. Kathy says yes. Carla says yes, but I realize it won't stop. We have about 50 more comments on our Facebook page, so you can go to Up North Live to read all of those. But that'll do it for Up North Live Unscripted tonight. Just a heads up, we won't have a show tomorrow because Harrison has a full sports show at 6:30 on ABC. So we'll see you tonight on Up North Live News at 11. Take care, everyone.